Yes. So we're talking about Nyaya and Vaisheshik Darshan before the break, lunch break. And we could look at the comparison. Yes. So it's not body, mind, self. Basically, soul, mind, and body. This is what we. So God, that so they are not using the now again pure Purush or Purush. So it, it is not quantitative at all. It is qualitative only. It is a part of concept. It is non-material. Mind is non-material. So mind is also qualitative. Mind is a part of the consciousness. No, mind is a part of the consciousness. It is non-material. ठीक है? Yes. Nice. Fine. Yeah. Any other question? So we talked about Nyaya and Vaisheshik. Now we can go further. What happened? Yes. Now if you look at the psychology in Vaisheshik, so human psyche, consciousness is an attribute, a gun of the self Atman, not its essence. So they are saying that consciousness, that is from here to here, it is a gun of the Atman, the soul. The self, that is Atman, is internal, eternal, all pervasive, and the substratum for knowledge and experiences, but it is unconscious in itself when not in contact with the mind and sense organs. So consciousness arises only when Atman plus Manas plus Indriyas plus external objects interact. So Atman is here at the level of realization, then Man is there, Indriya is there, and external objects are there. And then when they interact, then consciousness arises. This is what is being said here in Vaisheshik. The mind is atomic, Parmanu-like, and individual, and the link between self and senses. So what is essentially happening? Space is there, soul or the faculty to realize is there, then the other activities of the self are there, and then the body is there, and then the other material things are there. All these five things are there. They are being studied. So here we are saying space, consciousness, and material. Non-consciousness, we can have soul and other activities. In material, we can have body and other material entities. And space is there, right? It can be equated to God, or it can be equated to Sunya or Purush, whatever is being referred to. That we have to make out. So in various philosophies, all these three entities have been made out separately, differently. Now here you can see, like there we in Yog Darshan we talk about Chit and Vritti. Now here Atman, Manas, Indriya, and external objects. Determinant of conduct of human being. So conduct is guided by knowledge and ignorance. So right knowledge leads to dharmic conduct, wrong knowledge to adharm. Then there is desire, that is ichha, aversion, that is dvesh, and volition, prayatna. These trigger action, karma. Adrishta, unseen force or karma, accumulated actions influence tendencies and circumstances. Now, if you want to go in depth or want to have the clarity, then we have to read the original text, right? And see in the shlokas what is written, basically. And there also we'll see that there are multiple bhasya which have been written, right? So for Yoga Sutra, there is one definite book, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and I think you can get the English translation and then read it. Very clearly, you can get the meaning of all that is being said. In a similar manner, we can read about Nyaya, Vaisheshik, okay, other philosophies that we can go through to get a clear conception of what is being said. So the conduct is guided by these three, right? Knowledge and ignorance, desire, aversion, and volition, and then adrishta. The full potential of human psyche. So the word here is moksha, right? Earlier using kaivalya or upvarg, here the word is moksha. A state free from pleasure, pain, and rebirth. In this state, consciousness does not remain active as experienced in worldly life. It ceases along with contact with the mind. So now the way consciousness is operating presently. So after realization, after liberation or moksha, it will not operate in a similar manner. So it will be free of all those impurities. It will be free of aversion, volition, desire. Yes.
But free from pleasures also.
Yeah.
Is it sensatory pleasure or
Yes, yes. Pleasure is sensation. Pleasure is
yeah,
temporary happiness.
temporary excitement
Yes.
only that? Okay.
Pleasure is temporary happiness. So one is caught up in this loop of pleasure, pain, and rebirth because the liberation or moksha is not attained. When we attain the moksha, then we are free from this. Now this is our choice whether you want to take birth again or not. But presently we are bonded to take birth because we have not been able to attain the state of moksha. So I don't have any choice. I have to keep on taking birth time again so that I can attain the state of moksha. Right. The self attains absolute rest, shanti, a state of neither pleasure nor pain, but pure existence. Unlike Vedanta, Vaisheshik views liberation as freedom from experience, not an experience of blissful consciousness. So basically, they are saying that moksha is not a state of eternal bliss. It is just getting rid of this cycle of pleasure, pain, and rebirth. Prominent problems of an undeveloped human psyche. So avidya, ignorance, that is misunderstanding the nature of self and reality. Excessive attachment and aversion, same way, craving and aversion, leading to accumulation of karmic residues. Karmic bondage, that is adrashta, that is keeping the cycle of birth and suffering ongoing. And restless mind due to the dominance of desire and improper use of senses. So this could be there visible in the conduct of a human being who has not attained moksha, according to Vaisheshik Darshan. Then process of developing the human psyche, Vaisheshik emphasizes knowledge of reality, tattva gyan, as the primary means. So you have to see the reality as it is, that is tattva gyan, and study of the categories. So dravya, guna, karma, samanya, vishesh, samavaya, and abhav. That is substance, quality, action, generality, particularity, inherence, and non-existence. So you have to study all these categories. Acquisition of right knowledge through perception, that is pratyaksh, and inference, anuman, the two valid means of knowledge in Vaisheshik, but later they accepted the other two also, analogy and shabd. Then ethical living, that is dharma, reducing attachment and avoiding harm. Then detachment, vairagya, gradual disidentification with sensory and material pleasures. Realization of the self distinctness, leading to the cessation of karmic accumulation. So in place of sanskar, the word that is being used here is karmic accumulation. Now, expression or proof of a developed human psyche, so equanimity, samatva, unaffected by pleasure and pain, restraint and moderation in desires, clarity in discrimination of real self and unreal, that is body and mind, dharma-oriented conduct, natural ethical living without compulsion, and liberation, moksha, freedom from rebirth, characterized by cessation of all suffering. So formulations of the same reality in different words, right? Now, one issue of contention is that after gyan, knowledge, or attainment of moksha, whether this atma will continue with other activities or not. Now we can see that this will very much be there, but the activity level will be different. Presently, when I'm associating with the body, I have one kind of activity here. Okay, because I'm associating with the body, assuming myself to be the body, assuming things outside to be my happiness, so I'm operating in one way. When I've attained this moksha, liberation, then this will be free from all those preconditionings. And this will be pure.
Bhaiya, while taking this body only, I'm preconditioned and sensation is dominating. Actually, after this receiving the information from the environment, where to do this, that, all conditions come only at the state when I have a body. So before that, the body doesn't have, this self doesn't have this corrupted all these things.
That's not the case. See, in fact, it so happens that the self is deluded, but the delusion is not getting expressed because I do not have the body. So it is not developed also. So whenever you are in contact with the body or the outside world, then all those are coming surfacing out. It's just that the incompetence is there, but it is not getting exposed. It's good that it is getting exposed now, and I'm getting resolved now, in place of keeping it unexposed. So that is going to be there.
My question is, where that initial point of that corruption?
See, basically, the self is there, and the self is related, and the self has to fulfill the relationship with the material world also, with other self also. So the self has to participate with ignorance, because the self is not aware. It will do something or the other, isn't it? And then in that process, the self will commit mistakes. But for example, let's say you have to drive an aeroplane, and you are given that task, not drive it. What will do? Something wrong.
Definitely.
Isn't it? Now that plane is there with me, I have to do something. I have to press this switch or that switch, rotate it this way, that way, something or the other I will do. In that whole process, the plane may also crash. Once I'm aware that yes, this is the way to drive the plane, then I'll not do that mistake. So once you are there with the body and you're not aware what to do with the body rightly, so you do something or the other. And that craving for happiness is there inside. Pardon? Mayday.
Mayday no.
No, generally May Day is the Labor Day, no? Acha, okay. Acha, okay.
Bhaiya, in this case, self taking the body first, it doesn't know what to do. It start learning, developing, it's fine. But when it is an animal body, also when we see that whole picture of UHV, we can see only where the human present there is a kind of understanding is not. Rest all in the harmony. Only this needs to work. So when I was in that animal body also, there was an harmony that is to live.
No. See, the point is, when you are there with the animal body, it's not that you have attained realization. Okay, only that the need is limited, because the body is not demanding that much of competence. So you are fine with survival, but live. It's not that one is happy. No. So for example, when a tiger is attacking a deer and the deer is getting killed or injured, right? It is not a comfortable moment for the deer also. But the deer does not have that capacity to think, what can I do to protect myself from the lion, tiger every time? Now, when the imagination is developed, still if somebody is doing something like that to me, then I become unhappy and then I start craving for something. So it's that the potential is not there at that level. Now the potential is developed, competence is not developed. So we had one volunteer who was staying at Sansthan, and she said that the only problem is that I became consciousness. Now let me turn back to material, there is no problem. No, no, that is on a lighter note. You can't become material, okay? So the material is not getting unhappy, isn't it? But you can't become material. You are there as consciousness. So you have to work for the development of the consciousness. Nice. So these 6 points we studied. Now we can go to Purva Mimamsa, psychology in Purva Mimamsa Darshan. So the philosophical system Purva Mimamsa was founded by Jaimini. Jaimini accepts two types of knowledge, pratyaksh and paroksh. So pratyaksh is the direct perception, paroksh is indirect. Basically, if you see in those 6 kinds of perception, there are 2 only, pratyaksh and paroksh. In paroksh also there are 2 kinds, word, that is shabd, or agam, and the rest is anuman. And there you can have this analogy and all those things, inference. So this paroksh consists of anuman, upman, shabd, arthpatti, and anuplabdhi. So in Purva Mimamsa, they're including all the 6, even anuplabdhi and arthpatti. Jaimini accept the plurality of soul. So they are saying that there is more than one soul, okay, multiple numbers of soul. He says that the souls are eternal, but they definitely undergo transmigration as per the actions performed by the bodies. So the soul is continuing, it is taking one body after another. Liberation is considered to be the highest good for humanity. Liberation puts an end to the transmigration of the soul. So I have to keep on taking bodies again and again, so long as I do not develop to the full potential. Performance of the daily duties brings about liberation. On the other hand, the non-performance of the actions or daily duties causes disruption in the path of liberation. So he is stressing upon karma, that you have to do karma, you have to perform your duties. Okay, then only you can get liberated. One of the most important observations made by Purva Mimamsa system philosophy is that there is no need for the existence of God to create the world, as well as rewarding or punishing human actions. So God is not going to create the world or reward you or punish you. Okay. So in some sense, they are saying that God, that is space, is no activity. Now just let us try to work it out at a rational level. Let's say God is the creator, God is the doer, for example. Then all those crimes which are being done, who is finally responsible? Then right, so why to punish the human being? We can say that this human being is doing because of God, who is doing all those things at the very basic level. And he is the basic mischief. No, we are not. No, no. What is being said here? If you say that the God is creator, God is doer, then for every crime, ultimately you have to punish God, because he is the one who is the mischief, isn't it? So at a rational level, also see that it is not the God or the space which is doing. You are the one who is deciding. Now the exercise that we're doing, it is very important. That step 4. We can say it simply, but it has lot many connotations. You are deciding the feeling. Nothing outside, nothing eternal. You are deciding the feeling, isn't it? So you cannot say that God is deciding the feeling of revenge in me and hence I am killing someone. No, it's you who is deciding. It's you who is deciding your feeling and getting unhappy or happy or excited or depressed. So you are responsible. Only then I assume that responsibility, that yes, since I am responsible, so I have to develop myself. If somebody else is deciding and I am merely a kind of tool for the other, that supreme entity, then what is my responsibility?
But I understand that responsibility, but sometimes we say that it is happening because of universes make it happening for you. It sometimes some moments it seems to be very magical. it just happens. I
So
was
you
just
can call it magical. Now so many things are happening, right? Sometimes it's a favorable coincidence, sometimes unfavorable. But it so happens that I'm so much inclined to believe something that
Yeah, I give you one example what happened. I was about to buy Bhagavad Gita book. Okay, about to buy. That time, one of my alumni, my student, no, he came to meet me. He came. I was about to order next week. I mean, in Amazon. But when he came, he left the college 4 years before. But when he came, he gifted me a book. But when I opened, it was Bhagavad Gita. Like that, so many instances are there that I was like,
many
it's
times you are planning to get some book, nobody gifted you.
ah. Yeah, that's what the one coincidence I'm connecting.
Yes.
And sometimes I say this is a fate. In the negative also, sometimes we say it's a fate. It's just happening because of my fate. Some we are putting our responsible somewhere that I understand, but why it has been termed universe is making it
See, we
happen.
have a very common tendency to shirk off our responsibility on something else. It's not me who is responsible. Something else is doing that. I'm not saying that. Now there was one Ajivana that is saying that it is fate or predetermined. No, we are saying you are determining. Yes, it's your decision to decide your feelings. So how come something else is determining you? And see, because of certain other things, my body may change. Okay, because of the grah, nakshatra, and all those cosmological changes, something may happen in my body. That is quite possible. For example, let's say when is eclipse and we eat food, your stomach will get upset, right? So all those interactions are taking place in this universe. So that is possible up to the level body, right? That can happen at the level of physiochemical world. But your happiness or unhappiness is totally decided by you. And you will gradually see. For example, earlier the situations were deciding your state of being, your happiness or unhappiness. Now that you are transforming yourself, you are less influenced by all that is happening outside, isn't it? So it's my being, my level of competence, my decision that is deciding my happiness or unhappiness, not something outside, isn't it? Now, something from outside can determine the events, for example, that is fine, that can happen. Now, many times it has happened, no, that you were rushing for a flight and you did not get the flight. You were so sorry. And half an hour later, you learned that the flight crashed. And you say that, yes, it was predetermined. Somebody saved me. Not predetermined. It is happening as per the laws of the nature. So in the nature, things are interrelated. Yeah. There is nothing like, you know. Now it may be the case that today you are going home, you feel very affectionate to the child, and you are planning on the way that I'll prepare very sweet something for my child. And the child suddenly finds something sweet in the house and says it is predetermined, है ना? It is preordained, right? He had the desire to eat some porridge or something, sweet porridge, and you cooked it. So it's a matter of coincidence. And yes, one possibility is of course there. The cell without the body may also be influencing so many things. That can be possible. Yes. Yeah, that could be possible. It may be possible that not only 56 people are attending this workshop, there are someone roaming around here. Pardon? This Puruvimansa. So basically, Puruvimansa and Uttaramansa go together. In Puruvimansa, they have laid down practices of rituals. In Uttaramansa, they talk about Gyan. So it is Gyan Yoga primarily. They talk about the ontology. It is Hindu religion only. So, like people are generally not going, like they are practicing rituals. The rituals in the temples and on various occasions. when you go about it, then you'll see that multiple rituals have been laid down here. That can maybe there. Now you see in Sankhya and Yoga also. Sankhya is the ontological part, the knowledge part, and Yoga is the practice part. There Nyaya and Vaisheshik also. Nyaya is the knowledge part, Vaisheshik is the practice part. And here, no, sorry, the otherwise. Vaisheshik is the knowledge part and Nyaya is the practice part. Here, this is the practice part, Purimansa, and Uttarmansa is the knowledge part. So this knowledge and practice are going together. So that's why they have been clubbed together. So liberation is considered to be the highest good for the humanity. Liberation puts an end to the transmigration of the soul. Performance of daily duties brings about liberation. On the other hand, the non-performance of actions of daily duties causes disruption in the path of liberation. One of the most important observations made by Purvamamsa philosophy is there is no God for existence of God. There is no need for the existence of God to create the world as well as rewarding or punishing human actions. Hence, Mimamsa does not speak about the existence of God. Now, see, when they are saying it does not speak about the existence of God, it simply means God is the creator. Okay, it's not that this is denying space. So, the core issue, nature of the self, that is Atma. Atman is eternal, omnipresent, and conscious in potential, not by default. Now again here, whether Atman is a unit or it is omnipresent. So in Vedanta also, you'll see that it has been treated as omnipresent, right? Consciousness arises only when the self associates with the body, senses, and mind. There are many individual selves, each distinct and beginningless. Psychologically, the self is the experiencer of pleasure and pain and the doer of actions. So what is being said here? So Atman is eternal, omnipresent. Now this Atma is in coexistence with different bodies. And that's how consciousness is arising. Right? And by that we have body, senses, and mind. Now here something to be made out. So whether this Atma, which is the faculty to realize the coexistence, is it eternal and omnipresent, or it is there with every self? Now that is one thing to be made out. Mind, that is Manas in Mimamsa. So Manas is atomic, that is Anu, subtle and indivisible. It is the internal organ responsible for connecting the cell with the senses and the external world. Functions in a sequential mode, allowing attention to one sense at a time, similar to Nyaya Vaisheshik. So Man is able to focus attention one by one, right? Moment after moment. Cognition and knowledge, that is Gyan. So knowledge is instrumental for action, that is Pravritti, not for liberation as in Vedanta or Sankhya. Valid knowledge, that is Prama, is that which leads to correct performance of duty, and these are the various Pramans. So Purvamamsa accepts only 5 or 6. So sometimes 5 and sometimes 6. So Pratyaksh, Anuman, Upman, Arthpati, Shabd, and Anuplabdhi. Right? So this Anuplabdhi was accepted by the Bhatti school. The other school did not accept Anuplabdhi. And then we look at the memory and sanskar. So memory is the impression. So memory arises from impressions, that is sanskaras left in the self. And memory is the smriti. Smriti. These sanskaras are formed by past experiences and actions, that is karmas, and influence future actions. Psychologically, this establishes the continuity of personality across births. Right. So one key thing is here that it is being said that the Atma is omnipresent. There are multiple bodies, and by the coexistence of this omnipresent Atma with the body, there are multiple consciousness. Right. Then desire, effort, and emotions. So desire, ichha, aversion, dvesh, and effort, prayatna, are considered the qualities of the self. They motivate ritual action and determine karmic results. Pleasure, that is sukh, and pain, that is dukh, are real experiences attributed to the self. Now, psychological basis for karma. So Mimamsa emphasizes ritual action, karma, as the key to well-being. So actions performed with proper intention create unseen potency, apurva, leading to desired results, heaven, prosperity, etc. Psychologically, this links motivation, leading to action, leading to impression, leading to result. So you have to do karma, and karma is mostly in terms of ritual action. Liberation, that is moksha and psychological state. So liberation is the cessation of pain and rebirth, not necessarily a state of bliss or positive experience. It is a neutral, inactive state, free from pleasure, pain, and consciousness of external phenomena. Mike.
These Puranams and literatures talk about the way, and what I see as this hell and heaven after this clarity of UHV, what I can see is when heaven is actually within me, but I'm not, I'm putting my sufferings, and even now it's in a hell kind of. When I attain the state, it's a heavenly state, that continuous happiness. But why this Puranas called Garuda Purana kind of thing is telling that you will be putting in the oil, boiled oil, cut panma, but all these nonsense, why why they are putting in the literatures?
Yeah, see, now when we have come to the state when we can explore the proposals, analyze the proposals, discuss the proposals, then this all can be discussed. Otherwise, how to regulate the society?
அதுக்காக இப்படியா பையா என்ன சட்டில வரும் பையா that எண்ணெய் சட்டில வறுக்கிறது என்ன பிரச்சனைனா now that people are doing lively they are doing it in a psychotic way and taking it in a wrong sense instead of taking it as a fear, no? That itself.
You will see that three kinds of measures have been used to regulate the society. One is fear, bhai. The other is enticement, so pralobhan. And third is faith, pralobhan. Lob. Yeah. Enticement.
English, ma'am. Please. Enticement.
Yeah.
One is fear.
Fear, enticement, and faith.
Faith.
So fear means that if you do something wrong, you will be punished here itself. Enticement means if you do something good, you will be rewarded. And faith means beyond life, something will happen to you. Or in this life, something unknown will punish you or reward you.
Karma is a boomerang.
Yeah. So this faith has been used many times. So if you are doing something wrong, which is not acceptable to you naturally, you will get punished in this life itself. Then there is a karma comes back. No, I am not saying that. These are measures used to regulate the society. Pardon? Moksha comes in the... No, I am not. See, moksha is something real. Okay? Not miserable. Not getting.
So actually, when it comes to coexistence, living living in harmony between the nature as well as human being is okay, but saying that if you live in a better way, if you follow all this way of dharmas, you will reach liberation. So this is also like if you do some work, I'll be giving you chocolate for students.
No, liberation is not some outwardly reward. Okay? Liberation is that you get elevated within. This is transcendence. So it's not that somebody else is rewarding you. For example, if you understand harmony and live in harmony, you will be happy. So this is not enticement. But if you say that if you ask questions, you will get increment, then that is enticement. For example, if you are said that if you ask questions, in a class, you will get marks. If you don't ask questions, you will get negative marks. That is enticement. Yeah. Faith is something known, something unknown, will either punish you or reward you in this life or after life. That is faith. Now liberation, yeah, moksha and psychological state. So liberation, the cessation of pain and rebirth, not necessarily a state of bliss or positive experience. It is a neutral, inactive state, free from pleasure, pain, and consciousness of external phenomena. So they are saying that liberation or moksha is not a blissful state. It is a kind of neutral state. So you are not influenced by pleasure or pain. That is it. Yeah. Equanimity. Kind of equanimity. Yeah. So there also you can see that they have been used in different philosophies. We can say like Kaivalya. Now we can see that in different philosophy, different states have been mentioned. So Kaivalya, Apvarg, and Moksha, Nirvan, Keval Gyan, Turiya, all these words have been used just to denote the highest potential that you have to reach. And there will be minor differences. So, for example, they are saying that moksha is different from anand. In anand, you are in a blissful state. In moksha, you are indifferent, right? According to Purvimamsa. And then key psychological implications. So, attention monofocal. Mind connects only one sense at a time. Learning is scriptural authority. Shabd is the highest means of psychological and ethical guidance. Since they are basing the knowledge on Vedas, so they are saying that ultimately Shabd is supreme. Motivation rooted in ritual duty, desire for heaven, or avoidance of suffering. So they're talking of heaven and hell, right? So if you do these rituals, you will reach heaven. Personality continuity maintained via karmic impressions, sanskaras. So that personality is continuing through sanskaras. Now, if you look at the psychology here, so human psyche in Purmansa, consciousness is an attribute of the self, Atma, which is eternal, omnipresent, and distinct from the body and senses. The self is the experiencer of pleasure and pain, the doer of actions, and the enjoyer of results, Bhokta. Consciousness is not constant. It manifests when the self associates with the body, mind, and senses and become dormant in sleep or after death until the next birth. Determinant of conduct, Vedic injunctions, Ved Praman are the primary determinant of conduct. Dharma is what is enjoyed by the Vedas, even if its effects are not immediately perceivable. Action, that is karma, performed according to the Vedic rituals, generate apurva, unseen potency, which leads to future results, heaven, prosperity, or auspicious rebirths. See, something that we discussed earlier also. Desire for heaven, that is swarg, and avoidance of suffering also guide behavior. The full potential, highest potential realizing the fruits of the dharmic actions, primarily heavenly enjoyment and higher states of existence. In later Mimamsa developments, some acknowledge liberation, moksha, as a state of cessation of pain, characterized by absence of rebirth and suffering, but not a state of conscious bliss, as in Vedanta. So, in this manner, Purva Mimamsa and Uttar Mimamsa are different. Purva Mimamsa places moksha as the highest state, Uttar Mimamsa places Paramanand or Anand as the highest state. Then, prominent problems of undeveloped human psyche. So, avidya of Vedic dharma. So, not knowing one's duties according to the Vedas. So, one has to perform duties according to the Vedas. This is what is being said here. Adharma is acting contrary to the scriptural injunctions. Attachment and aversion, so leading to karma that binds one to suffering. And neglect of ritual duties, resulting in loss of auspicious merit.
Bhaiya,
Yes.
in olden days, ancient period, these rishis and all they used to do tapas, and for them they have to realize God, and then God will come and say, "I will give whatever you want." So, if we are self-realized, will we get whatever we want, manifest whatever we want?
What do you want? So your happiness in continuity is not going to be given by anyone.
If I want,
Yeah, there also we'll have to distinguish between the reality and some fables, some stories. Yeah, isn't it? Now, presently, it so happens, no, once I do not have the feeling of prosperity, now you'll see that people will go for lottery and they will keep on playing lottery unless someone becomes a billionaire, let's say, right? And in the name of becoming a billionaire, they will spend so much of money, isn't it? Now, somebody by chance may become a billionaire, but that cannot be the right program. So, why to ask for some physical facility from some entity? Why not produce it? It's
then if we are a realized soul, if we have that potential, can we take God's help to help the other person?
what is God then?
He will do it himself.
Pardon?
If the person is worthy, he will do it himself.
Yeah, so I'm saying we have to understand what God is. So if there's some developed self, you can be that developed self also. There's some developed self like a deity who is without body. He can be of help at times, quite fine. It can be possible. But if I'm depending on that entity for my cessation of suffering, then that may not be the right program. So, for example, first of all, why did I become ill at all? Why do I have this disease at all? I have to do work at the root cause. Because it so happens, that there are certain things which may happen by chance. Now, when you try to make a tradition based on the chances, it leads to wrong tradition. Now, so many people are being exploited in the name of that, isn't it? So, process of developing the human side. So, development in Purvimansa focuses on the study of the Vedas, Shravan, to know the injunction, Vidhi, and prohibition, Nised. So, you have to perform those rituals according to Vedas, and you have to you have to listen to the Vedas. Perform the prescribed rituals, Yagya, Havan, home, all those things. So, for generating Apurva and attaining desired results, you can perform these rituals, right? So, you can see like so many modes of worship are there. Somebody was asking, no, where do I see this? So many modes of worship are there, and they are following these rituals. Like Havan is being done, Yagya is being done. Avoidance of prohibited acts to prevent negative karmic accumulation. Cultivation of faith, Shraddha, in Vedic authority. Gradual refinement of desires from material to higher pursuits. Then what would be the expression or proof of a developed human psyche? So dharma-centered life. Consistent performance of Vedic duties without negligence. Faithful adherence to scriptural guidance. Reduction of suffering and increase in prosperity or heavenly pleasures. Calm acceptance of results without excessive attachment or disappointment. And in advanced view, detachment from the cycle of rebirth leading to moksha, as accepted by some later Mimamsakas.
What are Vedic duties?
Vedic duties.
Is dimension
Yeah.
Vedic
So one is Shravan, so you listen to the hymns in the Vedas, and then you perform rituals like Yagya, Havan, Home, all those things, according to Purva. Now you can see that if one is not fulfilling the relationship, right, not participating in the larger order and doing all these things, this may lead to some wrong rituals, wrong tradition. And that's when these all wrong rituals came into picture. Then Buddha and Mahavir had to speak against it. So the society was being exploited, right? Now, even today, if you see, if somebody has died in the family and you have to perform so many rituals, already the family did not have money to save the person. So much of it got spent in the hospital. Now to perform the ritual, you have to spend again 10 lakhs rupees, for example. You have to donate these many things, you have to perform these many rituals, from where the family will get. And those who are performing the rituals are exploiting them. That this is a must, you have to do it. Isn't it? Yes. So why are you getting afraid?
When I asked why, I was asking that why all these rituals, what we are trying to do. Then they said, na the Pandam Budikadu, when they are traveling from here to that some locas Tandi, they have to reach somewhere. So that now the lightning up here, it will help them to take it that light throughout the darkness. They are telling something. So we cannot able to understand also. But if we're not doing it, something I'm not doing proper favor for them to reach that place. All this fear it is creating. No understanding. That is very clear. Even for me, for the other end. But believe or not to believe? That question is coming.
Yeah, so basically, if the self which has left the body is having attachment to physical facility or the family, then the other is going to be in trouble. So we do some rituals so that the other can be free of this attachment. Okay. But the point is, what could be the right program for that? So for example, if you see the Hindu tradition, after you burn the body, the skull is broken. That is the last part. The whole body will have burnt out, but the skull will not have burnt. So it is smashed with a rod, Kapal Moksha. Why is that done? Because the self is associating with the body through the brain, and the brain is here in the skull. So long as some part of the brain still remains active, then the self will try to associate with the body. So that's why do that action so that the self no longer can associate with the body. Right?
So in that, if some rituals they are burying the body, so in that case, will still it be associated if it wants to?
So like in our case, in Hindu religion, if you see, it is assumed that the rebirth is possible. So leave this body, come again. In those traditions, rebirth is not possible according to the tradition. So they leave the body as it is. That you can be with the body as long as you want. Let the body get worsened, being in the mud, fine. But since you do not have the choice to come again, so you be with the body. So if you look at Christianity and Islam, there is no proposition for rebirth. So they are saying that once you have taken birth, no more choice is there. Yeah.
Why your concept is the same. Self is immortal. It will be after death, it will be at peace. That's all.
Yeah.
So body is nothing. It is dust, it will go to dust. That's
Yes.
all.
Yeah.
Self is there, it is soul is immortal.
Yeah.
Rebirth is not possible. Body is body, it is gone. That's all.
The
Rebirth,
Yeah.
as per
most
my belief, there is no rebirth. There is just
in
one.
some traditions, there is no concept of rebirth.
There is
Sir,
no rebirth.
most of the religions which
Now, if
we
you
saw-
see here, basically rebirth is your choice. You want to take the body again or not? Is your choice. Yeah.
Sir, most of the religion, which tradition which we saw from yesterday, like Buddhism, Sikhism, Buddhism and Jainism and all. So here only the rituals like sati, they were practicing, but these were uh, actually recommended by the Dharma itself. So how it is correct?
Yeah.
So
So
we
that's what no, we are saying that all these rituals may be misleading. So the sati pratha came from there, right? Or like the widow cannot marry again. So there were many kinds of revolutions in the country also to remove all the kinds of traditions which were exploiting one section of society, be it women or lower caste or something. So that's what the problem will be if you do not understand, just perform the rituals.
Bhaiya,
So there again, yeah.
Bhaiya, any like I used to hear that some people will sit for some kind of pujas. The power, the self is going to attain that liberation. That is what they made to do such a thing. Like that, some beliefs are there, Bhaiya. So any indications are that is there that the self is nearing the liberation in those discussions, Bhaiya? Like so because some people used to tell that since they are doing that kind of activities they are nearing that last birth maybe, so that is what they could able to do such rituals like that.
Not very clear. So the rituals are doing what? Coming to the body again.
No, they could able to do this at this birth since they are nearing the liberation. That is what
Okay, yeah.
they could able to do such a thing.
Yeah, so it
And
could,
also one belief, if we are if people is going to Kashi and they are leaving that body, automatically they will be going to moksha, like that.
so that is not the case. See,
That is
so one has to work on the potential,
okay.
okay, for attaining moksha or
Okay.
whatever knowledge. So it is not just by doing something with the body and
Okay.
something is going to happen in the self. That's not the case.
Supraja ma'am also asked, no, Bhaiya, by doing some rituals, why they are doing wasting money? You are also said, no, Bhaiya. That is they are getting that point that the self is wanted to do such a thing so that they are nearing one condition or position like that.
Yeah. So again, we have to make the right program, no? With the self which has left the body,
Okay.
what could be the right program? So the best way is to ensure right understanding in the self while living.
Okay.
After the self has left the body, whatever you do is a compensation.
Okay.
Doing something so that other is feeling relaxed. That is fine. But ultimately, this is not the right program.
Okay, Bhaiya, what about your suggestion that people used to say whatever the parents are doing that will carry forward to the kids. Whatever their grandparents are doing, not only the assets, the things they are doing also will be carry forward to their grandchildrens. Are they discussing anything regarding this, Bhaiya? We have that belief whether it is good or bad, whatever we are doing as a karma, that will be carried forward to our kids.
No, no.
No.
See, there
Okay.
again, for example, if the father is taking bribe,
Mm.
then he goes to jail, right?
So, but
And then the
his
child has to
lifetime
suffer.
is 60 years. If it is over, that could be balanced by their children. That is why the birth
No,
also.
see, no need to believe anything like this. You
Okay.
can understand. So if the father is not having right understanding, his conduct is not correct. Okay, then he will get punished out of law or something, and then the family has to suffer. So the family will have to suffer. As simple as this. So we have to understand the conduct rightly.
That understanding and all very simple, Bhaiya, but whatever we are discussing right from yesterday onwards, are those discussions also based on this basic and right understanding only, Bhaiya?
I'm not saying that. We are saying keep it as a proposal
Okay.
and
Okay.
observe.
Okay.
Okay. Whether by performing rituals the self is going to be developed or not, you keep it open and observe.
Okay. Okay.
Now here again you can understand the rebirth also. See, essentially the self, in some tradition may decide not to take another body. Self in some tradition may decide to take the another body. That is fine. So the self is continuous. This has been accepted in all the traditions. The self or the soul is continuous. That has been accepted in all the traditions. Or the Atma is continuous, isn't it? Now, in place of depending upon all these things, right, we have to make the right program. For example, let's say a very crude example. If you have to excel in academics, you have to study, right? Now, sometimes the paper may be easy, sometimes the paper may be difficult. This is by chance, right? Now we may have so many assumptions that if I do this, the paper will come easy. If I
So
do
we
that,
are writing the examination now.
you're writing examination.
Are we
Life
writing?
examination.
Yeah, the paper is going to be very difficult. All these terms will be asked.
No, our life is written by, as per karma, our life is leading. So when, as per karma, our life is leading, where there is a negative karma or positive karma, everything is written as fate lines or destiny
I am not
line.
saying this, and it has not been proposed in any of the darshan also. This is something that is coming from you.
Then where is the rebirth? And even if it is the rebirth, who is going to evaluate that, whether he is born as. But there are some examples available. One is a little boy. He said that he was acting as a pilot and he was killed during World War II. Like that, they are able to recall and give some.
Yeah, that is fine. If
stories.
some self takes another birth, one can recall. This is possible. If you are taking another birth, you can recall. As I was telling you that Buddha recalled his previous 500 births.
So we can also bring back.
You can also come back.
Bring back.
Bring back home.
bring back the memories of our previous birth. Is it possible? What we were.
Yes, yes. If you try to think deeply, so for example, do you remember what you were thinking 2 days back?
Not possible.
Then how come you go to the previous birth?
Then we are talking about previous rebirths and all, no?
Yeah, so I'm saying if you develop that competence, you can look into the sequence of thoughts, okay, within you, and you can trace back your thoughts, your feeling many
If
days back.
sequentially we start thinking about all this again and again, we'll be losing our job and we'll be losing our
So don't go there.
career.
Yeah, so better to focus on what you have to do now.
Any AI generated for this, sir?
See, if people have this kind of belief system, okay, they keep on, some AI will come. Click this option, pay me 1,000 rupees, I'll show you the previous birth. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, one more doubt, only small. If somebody, if I'm good, taking it in good way, if I'm teaching my, if I am treating anybody cruelly, if I have been treated somebody cruelly, they used to say last birth you done to them, that is why they are doing so. And maybe now you are teaching us, no, Baya. Maybe next birth we will teach you.
Yes. Most welcome.
Our last Janma, we might be your teacher. So,
So I am
like,
taking revenge. You know? Yes.
like that, I am thinking from yesterday. Maybe because you are eye opening many things, no, Baya. Maybe myself need this through you. Like that, I am thinking. Otherwise, I may not come all those things. At this, I am
See,
little
we have
bit.
to see what could be the basis of saying all this. How do we verify this? And what could be the basis for this? So many times, no, we tend to believe certain things without verification. Like we saw, no, like in the Sraman tradition, there was one Ajiva tradition. So they believe that everything is fate. Even today, there are some practices happening. I'll not name them. They will say that whatever is happening to you now happened with you thousands of years back. Okay, and the same thing is getting repeated. It's a cycle. So many things can be said. Now, how do you verify all this? Yeah, so that you can see at this moment. Don't have to believe. See, I'm not saying that you believe that self is there. No, you observe. Don't believe anything. What is being said in UHV, what is being said in various darshans, no need to believe anything. Keep it as a proposal, verify for yourself. What you can verify is your knowledge. Rest is just assumption. So whether the self is there or not, how to verify? You can very much verify. I can see that I am there, body is there. Now what I am, there are various proposals for that. Observe it. Whether that faculty to realize is there in me or not, whether the other activities are there in me or not, what is happening in me when I'm not taking information from the body, what is happening in me when I'm taking information from the body, all that can be observed. So observe it. The purpose of this course is not to assume all this. No. What is being said is so much of effort has been made in the tradition to understand the consciousness, the material and the space. And various terms have been used. Various ideas have been given based on what they observe, right? And you take it as a proposal and observe yourself. Now you can, yeah. Take a mic, take a mic.
Why this cycle is started? Why this birth cycle? Like, so then, like before this, I'm getting into the cycle. In what state I am?
So I'll not say this is a cycle. First of all, it is not a cycle. It is transformation.
Yeah, like
So for example, you studied in BTech first year, then BTech second year, BTech third year, BTech fourth. Every year you are learning something more. In a similar manner, it could be the case that in every life that you are taking, you are developing somewhat. You are developing further and further. I'll not say like this. It is like this. No, you cannot be amoeba. Now there also, so when we're studying the four orders of nature, we can see that there are some entities. Yes, yes. Lot of inquiry. Yes, nice. No, let me explain this. So it's not a cycle. You are developing, right? Now, if you look at this amoeba or some small plant or big tree, when there is no self associated, so you were never there. You were there with some entity where the self could exist, like the birds and the animals. That is possible. Now you are developing to some extent as a bird, as an animal, right? Now you're developing further as a human being. If in this life journey you are able to accomplish realization, well and good. Otherwise, you will have that inclination towards going for realization. So you may be forced to take another birth. You may feel forced to take another birth. But it is again your choice. Because you are not developed to that extent which is naturally acceptable to you. Since, see, if I'm not happy in continuity, I will do something. If I'm not happy in continuity, I will do something. Right? So for right understanding, I need a body. So I may feel like taking the body again and again. Fine. Yeah, take a mic. Otherwise, people cannot listen.
no, the what is the state of self? Like even if I'm starting from the bird, like bird, then animal, something. So what is the level of self at that point? How, like what is the, like what to say, competency level of the self at that point?
Yeah, so here. So the lowest level of competence is here. Now, if you look at a bird and an animal, they are just trying to survive. Only survival. There is no craving for happiness. There is no craving for sensation to such a large scale. There is no craving for nurturing the family. If you look at the birds simply, you feed the birds, they will eat, they will fly, they will go and sleep. That's all. This is their life. Okay. Now we have different kind of desires. So their development is only up to this level. Our level is somewhat higher. Here also the development is much, much higher. Just by feeding the body, they are sufficient. They are feeling fulfilled. We are not feeling fulfilled just by feeding the body also.
So for doing the participation like this, like we are growing, like we are developing ourselves from that level to this much level.
Yes.
So the main thing is participate. Like after getting the realize with right understanding, we need to take part.
Naturally, will take part. Even if you do
uh,
not have right understanding, you are participating. So this is the final attainment of realization. What you can call as upvarg or kaivalya or moksha or nirvana, or keval gyan or turiya, whatever you want to call, right? This is the final state where you want to be, where you will be in a state of continuity of happiness, right? So long as you have not developed to this scale, you are still participating, but not happily. So I want to be in a state where there is continuity of happiness. Yes. Yes. Pardon? Technical jankari. Jargons. Yes, yes. No, So basically, we can limit it also. We can see, we can now compare the terms, that full human potential, what are the terms being used. Tomorrow we'll do that. So in various philosophies, certain things have been said. Program, certain things have been said, right? Conduct, something has been said. We can look at that. Yeah. Now this is giving an exposure to the various efforts made so that a person can live happily. Yeah. We are trying to look at something, right, which is not discernible through eyes or something. That's why it is appearing difficult. Otherwise, if you see, yeah, yeah, I can cut it down, but only that when you go to discuss it, see, the essence has to be discussed in detail. This part has to be discussed. Here we are just trying to make you acquainted with various efforts. We'll not go into all those details. Otherwise, you read a single philosophy and you have to spend years. Like there are schools where people will study a single Ved for 4 years and then perform all those rituals, right? But that may not be ultimately leading to continuity of happiness. Yeah, so now the second part now, whether don't get anything, I'm saying you get exposed and bring out the essence. Yes. Now what we are trying to do in UHV, we are bringing out the essence. So a very simple task would be to go through this. But when you are going through this and you are not transforming, then you can look at various efforts also so that it inspires you and also enriches you. Nice. So we talked about the Purva Mimamsa, then we can go to Uttar Mimamsa, that is Vedanta. So the philosophical system of Uttar Mimamsa does not have a specific founder, since it is a conglomeration of 3 different schools of thought named Advait, Vishishtadvait and Dvait. So there is no single person who propounded Vedanta. It is Uttar Mimamsa. So there are 3 streams: Advait, Vishishtadvait and Dvait. Now here itself you can see that in Vedanta, calling the whole existence as Advait or Dvait or Vishishtadvait. 3 possibilities are there. The philosophical system of Uttar Mimamsa is otherwise called Vedanta. All the 3 schools of Vedanta have different teachers. So Adi Shankara is the head of the Advait system of Vedanta philosophy. Ramanuja is the architect of Vishishtadvait system Vedanta. And Madhava is the head of the Dvait system. He's also called Madhvacharya of the Vedanta philosophy. Shankara called the world illusionary as a result of Maya or delusion. Maya causes illusion akin to the cognition of serpent on the rope. So basically he says that I see a rope and assume it as a serpent. Now this Maya has to be understood. So a famous statement by Shankaracharya is Brahm Satya Jagat Mithya. Now what is being said here is that it's not that the world is mithya. The way I perceive the world is mithya. So for example, I perceive the body and call it me. This is mithya. I perceive food and call it happiness. This is mithya. So an analogy that is given is that I see a rope and call it snake. Seeing a rope as a rope is reality. Seeing a rope as a snake is mithya. So what is being said here is that if I do not see the reality as it is, I am in mithya, right? Mithya gyan, illusion. And I have to come out of that illusion. And what is that illusion? Assuming the material to be consciousness, assuming physical facility to be happiness, assuming sensation to be the source of continuity of happiness, assuming relationship on the basis of body, differentiating in relationships in place of complementing, all this is mithya. And I have to come out of it. So a person gripped by ignorance fails to see the substratum of the universe. Brahman is the substratum of the universe. So Brahman is there at the base. of the universe. That is Brahma. So Brahman is not that category or class. It is Brahm. It is not seen due to illusion or Maya. Shankara calls the universe an illusion and the Brahm as the supreme entity of truth. Everything around us is adventitious of the Brahman. Into Brahman, all creation goes. Deluge is the ultimate condition during which the Brahman withdraws all its creation onto itself. So Ramanuja advocated the Vishishta Dvaita school of Vedantic thought. It is a qualified version of monism and hence is called qualified monism. So there is only one God, something like that. You know? So Ramanuja differs from Shankara only a little in the sense that he considers the jiva or the individual soul as the entity different from the body and is infinite in number and cannot be one with the supreme as long as it confined in the body. So what is being said is that the soul or the jiva is infinite in number. So the soul is there, it is there with the body, it is called a jiva, and they are infinite. It's not a single soul, right? And then there is space, Brahma, and the soul is there, you know, in oneness with the God or the supreme, right? Or the Brahm with right understanding or whatever can be called as realization. Madhava, the founder of the Dvaita school of Vedantic thought, says that the jivas or the souls can attain liberation without through bhakti and the grace of God. It is important to note that all the three teachers accepted Vedas as a valid means of knowledge. Now, how do you understand Dvait, Advait, and Vishishtadvait? Now, just see how it is being said. Now, if you look at the coexistence, I do not have the diagram here, otherwise we'll put it up tomorrow. If you look at coexistence, the whole existence is coexistence. Now, when I'm seeing coexistence, it is appearing as Advait, right? When I'm looking as consciousness and material submerged in space, right? Then it's appearing as Vishishtadvait. And when nature submerged in space, then it's appearing as Dvait. It is like this. So the same reality, what you are focusing, what we are targeting. You are looking at coexistence, it is Advait. You are looking at nature submerged in a space, two, nature and space, it is appearing as Dvait. You are looking at different units of consciousness, it is Vishishtadvait. Nothing different essentially. The same reality being expressed by different people in different ways. The reality is the same. No, not superposition. Now you are looking at that reality, what you are talking about. So for example, I am looking at this hall, right? Now considering the building and people together, I call it workshop hall. It is one. Now I call it people sitting in the hall and people sitting here, two, right? Now I call men and women sitting in the hall, three. Same thing, different language. Yeah, because it so happens that if the living is not at the focus, the harmony is at the not the focus, and that I am better than you or I am supreme than you, if that is being said, then this all may happen.
Self and body, you're saying coexistence. As per the thing like delusion and illusion, what we have discussed now, as per the like physiological changes, we have neurotransmitters. If there is neurotransmitter changes, whether it is increased or decreased, an individual will have delusion and illusion. So as per this statement, it says that the body has impact on the self. But you are saying like self, what we are going to think, that is going to have through material. So
yeah, so it is either way. See, For example, something pinches your body. A mosquito is biting your body, let's say. So it will have impact on the self. A mosquito biting on the body, right? It will have impact on the self. Does it happen or not?
Pain, yes.
Yeah. Now you have some desire within you, right? So you may feel like clapping. So the same clap can happen either due to this stinging of the mosquito or by my own desire. So I'm influencing my body. So I'm giving instruction to the body and I'm also receiving sensation from the body. So the self is influencing the body is also influencing the self. So for example, when I'm talking to you, I'm influencing the body because the words are coming out of my body, I'm deciding. But when I'm listening to you, I'm getting influence from the body because I'm getting some sensation from the body. It is happening either way. Both ways, not either way, both ways.
So for the material, if I'm going to treat, it will have impact on self.
Yes. Now the choice is, if I'm understanding the material as it is, then I'm not going to depend for my happiness on the material. Are you getting this?
But here for delusion and delusion, what example you said, when I'm having this delusion and delusions, how it is going to clarify, it is not only with the misunderstanding, with the self alone, I cannot be able to heal that. To clarify me, see, as you said, the rope can be seen as a snake. If it is there, it is abnormal perception. In order to clarify that, with the clear explanations, self cannot be able to understand that concept.
No, I'm saying, if I can see the rope as the rope, I'm disillusioned. If I am able to see the rope as the rope, I'm disillusioned. If I assume that rope as a snake, I'm illusioned.
Illusion.
So it's not that, it's impact of body on self or self, or it's something different.
That is not because of self we are seeing that.
We are saying, like I am seeing, I am the self. I am seeing the rope, but assuming it as a snake. That is my avidya or misconception or illusion. This is my illusion, lack of right understanding. If I see the snake and see the snake as a snake, see the rope as a rope, this is fine. I assume rope as a snake as a rope, this is my illusion.
That is what I'm saying here. When we are saying that rope as a snake, it is considered as illusion. It is not only with my perceptions. Since my body has some problems, myself is recognizing like that.
It could be like, it is a very kind of menial example, very I'll say very generalized example. So no one will see a snake and a rope and call it a snake. Now, if you look at the inference out of it, for example, I see a sweet in front of me. I can see the sweet as sweet, but I am terming it is my happiness. That is the problem. I can see my body and I'm terming the body as myself. That's the problem. So we have to see at a much deeper level. Not the senses. See, yeah, something is happening there, and then something is happening in you also.
It's happening in the body. It is not only an example. It is not only an example of illusion. Based on that, they will have many disorders, many signs and symptoms they will have. That is, I am saying it is like how the diabetic means, we'll say that blood sugar level is changed, increased or decreased, which is causing blood sugar. It is affecting the material body. It is not affecting the self as per UHV it is. So same way I'm just saying here in the psychiatric also, when there is a neurotransmitter changes, whether it is increase or decrease, it leads to this abnormal behavior and other things. Example one example I said, same way they will have illusion, delusions, they will become aggressive, they will start to behave continuously, they will have beating others, many things they will be having it.
Synthesis wants
We-
to
That
say
is
something,
because
yeah.
of neurotransmitter changes, they say,
Yeah.
scientifically.
We have two type of propositions. We don't know what is going to happen, what is really happening. If I am having too much adrenaline, I am pumped up. One thing, or I am having a mental state that induces my adrenaline to be increased. We don't know. We don't know. So in both the case also it is working. So if adrenaline means something is falling on my head, I will immediately jump from here. That adrenaline gives me power to, even though I'm sleepy and all those things, that 1 second I'm getting power and I'm out. This one case. Another case is that I'm thinking about something and I'm getting energy by just imagining and thinking. So I am inducing my body's physiochemical reactions. That is also possible. So we are not clear, like our body influences mind,
That
our
is what-
mind influences body. We are not clear about that. Like we are not sure about it. It is happening in both the ways. Basically speaking, when it is in the psychochemical reactions, it is vice versa.
But rectification is done by, it is happening, we are not query, but when the treatment is given,
Treatment is targeted towards only the reduction of symptoms,
symptoms,
targeting the physiochemical
material
when it is
through
drug treatment, when it
drug
is
treatment,
drug
that's what.
treatment. So when we are looking for some other form of treatment, like non-drug procedures and all, there we are looking in the other direction. That's why we always say mental health is a team: psychiatrist, psychologist, occupational therapist, social worker, everything will be there. That's why we are targeting multiple locations.
That is what the combination of it is.
Combination of remedial procedures. If you are too much dependent on, like say for example, schizophrenia, we can give treatment by certain drugs that reduces psychotic symptoms. But those drugs will affect the person's health also. The too much power, and they have some other reactions also. So we are now looking for what is the best way to address the 360-degree of the problem. Drug alone, it's not going to be enough. And counseling alone is not going to be enough. We need multiple options to be there.
Yeah, my question here it is in the growing country now, it is the psychiatric patients are becoming more. So this UHV, how it is going to have an impact on this type of people? Outcome. Because for these people, like normal people are able to understand, we are able to follow it. What about this group of?
Bring them to the workshop.
That is what, bringing them, making them to
See, you have to
understand
get
the
dialogue.
story here. That is what my question is.
Damage control is possible, ma'am. Damage control. Say, for example, I am sure all of us now away from psychological problems. I am sure. So damage control is possible. We always say internal resource means a lot for a person to prevent from mental problems. Now we are now building up our internal resources. We are having various perspectives, seeing how things are going. So we are having an awareness about what is going on. So this self-correction is possible through UHP. And if we use this example, you have a dirt in your face. I'm trying to tell you, you have a dirt in a face here, there, but instead I'm showing a mirror. So you are correcting by yourself. I think UHP is doing that.
That is normal for normal people.
For normal people.
I'm asking about for other things. If you have a delusion, if they have, if you go and say fixed belief.
See, our state is not very different from them. Only a matter of scale is there. Yes. So very nice. So we conclude for today. I'll share the assignment on the group.